am shocked at the results that we get from puppies so quickly. You know, like the very first time I put buckets down, or mark buckets down, and we have little tiny puppies and puppies pass, put their feet up on it. Usually by week 2, every puppy's up on it, people get it, they like it, they think it's fun. And they don't know any of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But they're enjoying it, and they're doing it, and it's sort of fun for people. It's just that recent 10 post, I think people really enjoy, so it's fortunate because it works.
Right.
For general population.
Their dog happy.
Yeah.
Like it makes them happy to see their dog.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
right, so it gives the dog something to do and somewhere to be versus nothing's happening anymore. So you give the dog the reward, the dog is still on the mark, and instead of going, well, now what should I do? Should I sniff? You know, nothing's happening. It keeps them connected, and it creates clarity. But and so you start with people who have never realized that there's anything to see in their dog other than he's doing the behavior, the external behavior or not. The longer people start doing this kind of true interaction, the more they start noticing, and then they will notice like, oh, something just shifted in my puppy. I noticed it before the dog turned away and went sniffing. I could see that something just suppressed, and I can kind of figure out what happened there. Because that's what dog trainers who can take any dog and bring it up to a really high level. The thing they're doing, whether they know it or not, is they're responding to the subtle changes in that dog's mental emotional state, and they're making subtle changes in what they're training. You know, you'll get a sense sometimes, you don't know what happened. It's like, something out of the just peripheral in my mind, something happened with my dog on course here that didn't feel right, and you'll repeat that sequence to try to figure out what it was. Like, do you know what I mean by that? Well, if you've never connected with the dog, and all you're thinking about is, did my dog get through the sequence, you're going to miss those little ripples of something, and then they're going to get bigger and bigger until the dog is expressing big, hairy monster mess instead of the ripple, because he got nothing from the ripple. You just kept pursuing, the course. And, so instructors that you hear an instructor say, throw the toy, and the person has no idea why he said it. Well, because the instructor observed that the dog had kind of an emotional, mental, dip or did something phenomenal. But my goal with teaching people mark training is by connecting them at that level with their ability to see and respond to their dog, and that's what Ocean's about, and that's why mark training is part of Ocean. But when you can empower people that they can do it themselves, now you have somebody that won't need the instructor to say, throw the toy. That they'll be like, something, I don't know what it was, but boom, throw the toy, kind of thing. So anyway, one of the great things about having videos is I don't actually have to talk about all the things. You can see it, and you saw the videos of tiny Takoda, right? He was, he had just come to my house, and he was already on a mark, and he was already learning that other dogs can move, and the border collie doesn't have to move with them, and he learned all these valuable
That was cool when he was a puppy, the puppy videos where the other dog was doing stuff and he's staying up. That's really good training for a border collie.
Yeah, and so I was told he's my first border collie. It's like, here's the things don't let him do. It's like, don't let him herd you, don't let him herd your other dogs. Train straight lines, first. Don't let him do these, outrun kind of things. And a few things like that. And so I followed that instruction, and I thought the first thing he needs to learn is to not be motion reactive. And so in those videos you're seeing when I'm sending a terrier, they've already been trained, I'm feeding him right when it's happening. So he's, that mark training makes it very easy to make the correct decision easy for the dog and the incorrect decision hard. So in that case, he's on the mark, he's getting fed, and then eventually like a week later, I'm already able to move away from him because of that, that one whole week on a mark, and he's able to stay on a mark. And you can see him, if you watch the videos again after we've had this conversation about seeing what's happening, is watch a video and just watch Takoda, watch those short videos, and you will see him assessing the situation. He's not staring at me. He's looking at Lil moving, he's looking at Jake moving, he's trying to decide, what should I do here? So it's this kind of training is giving dogs choice. And if we are able to see the shifts, the ripples in our dog's mental and emotional state, we can give them the support when they need it and allow them the choice to keep making the right choices. So versus trying to get our dogs to follow the cues, which creates conflict, and the dog never learns how to self-regulate. So this type of training teaches dogs that, to self-regulate through giving them the choice to make wrong decisions, but making it easier to make the right decision.